Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Innocent Life. Today is the 7th day of winter, so we're now into our second week, and it has been very slow. However, that is to be expected. Winter in almost every single Harvest Moon game that I can think of is generally pretty slow, mostly because there's not a lot of crops that you can grow, all the trees are dead, and that really limits the amount of things that you can do. We still have other things available to us like mining, taking care of our animals, and in this game we are able to grow a couple of things in winter, which we have been doing. But it is a lot of the same thing day in and day out. We will go ahead and get our maintenance done first thing, and then I've kind of planned a little bit of an island tour. Even though we've seen all the parts of the island at this point, all the different parts of the island look differently in winter, which is kind of interesting to me anyways. So same old, same old. I'm sure Robo will be fine. Because we're a robot, we don't have to worry about getting sick in the wintertime or anything like that, which is kind of nice. Now, Dr. Hope should have something to say to us this week. Time certainly does fly, Robo. Already another winter is upon us, but I can't recall there ever being a more fruitful year than this. What do you think? Was this year a good one for you too? Now you can either answer yes or no. The interesting thing about this choice is if you answer no, Dr. Hope will give you a bit of a recap of what it is that you've been doing in the story, and he'll give you a bit of a hint as to what to do next if you're stuck. If you have no idea what to do next in the story, then he will give you a bit of a hint. So let's just say no for the heck of it. No, are you worried or confused about something? Have you met the nature sprites in the giant forest to the north? Yes, I have. Good, then there's no need to be confused. You just have to grow a lot of poinsettias for them. So obviously that's where we're at in the story, and I'm not confused. I know exactly what I'm doing, but for those of you who may be confused or just maybe want to exhaust all of Dr. Hope's dialogue options or whatever, I thought that that was kind of a neat thing that they've put in, because you're at the end of your first year. If you're stuck in the story or can't figure out what to do next, they might give you a bit of a hint, especially because this game is very vague. And Vita will also give us a bit of information as well. Have you heard, Robo? The nature sprite of memory has a single warm memory, and that is of the poinsettia plants that grow on the snowy plains. They must have associated it with the festivities of Christmas time. So, obviously we were told to grow the poinsettias for the Christmas party. We were given that task by Masumi, but we weren't really told when we planted them that it would have anything to do with the story. We just kind of assumed it had something to do with the Christmas party, but hopefully by growing these poinsettias, it will cause the sprite to come back, or the spirit of memory to come back, and we can actually speak to the next guardian of the forest that we want to speak to. Obviously, because the nature sprite of memory has disappeared, we're not able to find out where the guardian is. So now that we've done that, I kind of just want to roam around different parts of the island. We've already been to the lake, which was frozen over. That's where the fisherman is. But not all parts of the island are snowy, which again, I think is kind of interesting. You would think that everything would kind of look the same, but that is not the case. We can see that the forests are snowy, but we are able to still harvest some things. So if you need something to do, you can gather some mushrooms in the forest for a little bit of extra cash flow. Mushrooms don't give you much cash flow though, so whether or not that's worth it is completely up to you. We'll go across the bridge and we'll go and have a look in the plains area. And I'm getting totally turned around, I went too far. We want to go down this way. If we drive on the bridge, you can see that the stream underneath the bridge isn't frozen over, so it kind of seems to pick and choose which bodies of water it freezes over. You think everything would be frozen equally, but apparently not. The hot springs are also not frozen over. Obviously, all the caves are free from snow because it's completely covered from the weather, and we are still able to mine in here if you so choose. Again, that's another activity that you can do kind of just to pass the time if you're finding that there's not really anything to do in winter. Or if you're still needing to level up your hammer at all. And if we come into the desert area, we can see that it actually does kind of remain a desert, even in the wintertime. There is no snow in this area, and we are able to gather some things off of trees. There are a couple of fruits that are available all year long, some stuff that's available in wintertime. It is a bit of a journey to come all the way out here just for a little bit of extra cash or a little bit of something extra to do, but again, that is an option. And this part of the desert as well, where the fisherman lives, as we can see, it's still a desert. Now, obviously, I know that, deserts in real life will be deserts regardless, but I figured because it was a video game, we would get wintertime, but apparently they didn't go that route, so that's kind of nice to see. We have a nice snowless type of area to drive through. It's raining on the plains, which is just bizarre. It's snowing on one side of the island and raining on the other half. And in this area of the plains where the horses are, again, it's completely green. There is no snow, and it's completely untouched by the change of seasons. The ocean is nice and bright and blue. The horses are still running around, and everything is just as it has been in all the other seasons. And then finally, we can go and visit the area that is by the hermit's house. And again, very much the same. Green, you can harvest bananas off of trees in this area. I do believe you can also get papayas if we go further down the road. So keep an eye out for different fruits that you can gather off of trees. And I'm assuming, because this area is green, that this mushroom forest will be green as well. And it is. It's kind of like a tropical rainforesty type of area, whereas the other mushroom forest has been completely obliterated by winter and there's, snow on the ground. So that kind of concludes the island tour. I just wanted to show that off in a video because I was kind of going around the island looking for things to do and just kind of taking a lay of the land, and I noticed that even though we're on the same island, we're almost in two completely different environments entirely, which is kind of strange. I don't know why that is. But if you're sick of winter and the snow and you want to just have a nice look at all this green grass, then feel free to come to the plains because there's plenty of it. Now mind you, there isn't as much available in this area. Obviously, the amount of fruits that are available to us is limited. There's a couple of different options, but not nearly as much as what we would get in any other fruit-bearing season. The fisherman isn't out here, so we can't talk to him to fish while we're out in the area. The hermit has moved away somewhere. I think she's at the Mermaid's Tower, so, it's a big kind of empty, lonely type of area with very little to do regardless. And then the forest remains the same as well. The forest that the sprites are in kind of remains untouched by the seasons as well. There's no snow in that area. And in my travels, I haven't really seen anything else that's particularly noteworthy that I feel like I should mention, or anything that's new that I think you guys would want to know about for the video. So hopefully, maybe by next time I record, next week on the 14th day, we'll at the very least have our stuff grown. By that point, maybe hopefully our poinsettias will come in. And then all we'll have to do then is kind of just wait until Christmas. That's kind of all we're really doing right now, is growing the stuff for the Christmas party. And then when the party gets closer, we're going to prepare for it by also helping Dorothy bake the cake. And obviously, as you can see here, my poinsettias are doing very well as the kale that I have planted. So that's it for me, guys. That's pretty much all I had to say. Just figured that was kind of something to know, just something kind of interesting, the different kind of environments on the different parts of the islands and whatnot. So hopefully, like I said, I'll have something more interesting for you guys next time. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you then.